Hello my dear students, good morning, and we are back with our newspaper analysis. Yes, we will be covering The Hindu, The Indian Express, Telangana Today, PIB and all the important topics which are vital for you today on 5th of June. And today we also are celebrating the World's Environment Day, which is 5th June. So congratulations on that. Save your environment, because environment is our last resort which can save us on this earth planet. Okay, going ahead, newspaper is very vital, because when it comes to prelims preparation, mains preparation, interview preparation, newspaper will be your best friend. And in the first half, early in the morning, if you complete your newspaper analysis and you can make notes out of it in your GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4 for essay, for state PCS examinations like Telangana Group 1 examination, Telangana Group 2 examination, Andhra Pradesh examination, PCS examination. So you will be in the edge, you will be above before everyone, because you have completed your vital notes of current affairs which you are going to substantiate in your mains answer. Okay, so this is the importance of newspaper, right from prelims to mains to interview. For all the stages, you have to cover newspaper every day. It is a must. And let's get started. Welcome to Shikhara IAS Academy. We are welcoming you for the daily news analysis. And the topic for today, the first topic if we talk about, we have a lot of environmental topic to it today, students, because today is World Environmental Day. Yes, World Environment Day we have today. So first topic is regarding GS paper 3, environment, environmental pollution and degradation, environmental impact assessment. So what this topic? Exposomic for better environmental health. What is this term? What is this term, students? Exposomic. There is an exposure to certain things like your microplastics, okay, like your microplastics and rest of the things, air pollution, okay, there is exposure to air pollution, microplastic and noise also, okay, and this kind of exposure is your exposomics, okay, and the scientist is telling that the more exposure we have this, the more are the chances of having diseases, the more we get in the exposure of air pollution, microplastic and noise and all these things, environmental hazards, then there are chances of developing more diseases. And currently we talk about already 25% of the whole global world disease burden is on India. And who says it? WHO says that. So India is already having the burden of 25% of global disease level. 25% of global environmental disease burden is there in India. Yes, India is facing that kind of issue, and along with that, this public health surveillance strategies, robust risk assessment becomes very important, because once the exposure has started in the environment, people are not that safe. Okay, be it your noise pollution, be it your air pollution. And if we talk about today, June 5, Environmental Day. So this time they have taken this topic of ending plastic pollution and use of microplastics. The microplastics are getting inside our bloodstreams. They are getting inside our food chain, water bodies. The microplastics are everywhere. Yes, students, microplastics are everywhere, which is an area of concern. Microplastic use and the further expansion of microplastic use need to be curbed, because plastic pollution is something is on the agenda of June 5 Environmental Day today, and along with that, microplastic is also on target. Going ahead, again we will be having a topic from GS paper 3, environment. We have taken it from the Hindu, page 6. Aiming for an era of biohappiness in India. What is biohappiness? Have you heard this word, biohappiness? What you can do is you can use this word biohappiness. Okay, you can use this word biohappiness when you're writing your answers for GS paper 3. Quoting biohappiness and what does it mean, and giving few examples of it. So now we will be discussing what is biohappiness. So see, nowadays we are running behind few crops, okay, and few cash crops. What are those? Wheat, rice, okay, wheat, rice, jowar is also used in some of the places. But wheat and rice is something that people are running behind it in India. Yes, wheat and rice are the predominant in India today. It's staple food for Indians. Okay, but we need to diversify our plate. Okay, if we talk about, there is a tribe in Arunachal Pradesh. There are two tribal communities in Arunachal Pradesh. Their names are your Nayashi and Apatani tribe. Nayashi and Apatani tribes of Arunachal Pradesh. So the author went in the Arunachal Pradesh, and via the help of these two tribes, Nayashi and Apatani, he came to know that their plates look so green and so good. There are varieties of millets, tubers, leafy green vegetables which we have already forgotten in India. Yes, and these tribal groups, these places are actually conserving it, these tubers, these millets, and they are using it again and again. This is so good, right? Because if you have diversification in your plate, your gut bacteria will also be happy, and once your gut bacteria are happy because of diversification of crops, pulses, millets, tubers, then you will be a healthy human being. Okay, this is biohappiness. Biohappiness means you have to diversify. You have to use millets, you have to use beans, legumes, tubers, wild fruits, green leafy vegetables, okay, freshly plucked green leafy vegetables. To start growing these green leafy vegetables in your backyard, in a small garden, okay, also in your terrace garden you can start doing. So this is the agenda on which the author was talking on June 5 Environmental Day, that you can start taking minute small steps, students. You can take small steps, you can grow your own leafy vegetables and pluck them and eat it. Because biohappiness is something which comes for diversity of food which you eat, and which is more traditional and ancient rather than modernized packaged food. Okay, say no to packaged food because they are the biggest criminals. Now is the topic which we are talking about, again, is in GS paper 3, environment, climate change and disaster management. Is global warming becoming a distraction? Why the author is saying that global warming is becoming a distraction? See, the author wants to say that when we are talking about global warming, it seems like it is a distant thing, okay? It is a distant thing. We are targeting something which is going to happen in future. But what about present? In the present scenario, when in 2023 we have seen there is a lot of heat wave. There was heat all around India, and the world also suffered from a lot of heat waves in 2023. A lot of disaster happens, flooding happened. Okay, so what are we going to do about that? The present, what are we planning for the present? Yes, ignoring the immediate climate related disasters like flood and heat waves. What are we going to do? Why are our policies not about what is going on in present? And in present, if we talk about not only flooding, but urban flooding is an issue right now. See, in the cities like, in the places like your Delhi, Bangalore, urban flood, or for that sake in Gujarat, Ahmedabad also, urban flooding is something which I have seen by my own eyes. When I was in Delhi, I saw urban flooding and people dying out of it. Yes, people have lost their life because of urban flooding. Again, in Bangalore we have seen it, in Ahmedabad we have seen it every time during the rainy season. But these kind of urban floodings are also a disaster, my dear friend, which is the current disaster, cause of concern of present times. And in present times, if we are not able to take care of all these things, what are we going to do for the future, which is global warming, which is distracting us with the current scenario, disaster moments like flooding and heat waves, urban flooding and heat waves. Okay, you understood the agenda, what I am talking about? On the green track, yes, on the green track, what are we talking about? We are talking about how railways, Indian Railways, again GS paper 3, we have taken it from Indian Express, how railways is helping us to go green. Go green means to save our environment. What is the role of railways? So we talk about the current scenario, students, 700 crore. Okay, almost we have 700 crores of people all together, if we talk about global wide, are actually taking railways. And in India also, if we talk about, major chunk of the people are actually going. Major, if we talk about 60 to 70% of the people are taking railways. Okay, are taking railways for their transportation, for their commutation in India. So when 60 to 70% of the populations are dependent on railways, and railways, if I tell you, they are emitting 90% less carbon dioxide than a truck. Yes, railway is emitting 90% less. 90% less than your trucks. Is that amazing? So railway is also helping government for their Panch Amrit mission, which is your having one of the mission of which is having net zero emission by 2070. Yes, India already has this aim, and we have already told to the global world that by 2070 we are going to be net zero carbon emitter. 2070 net zero carbon emitter we are going to be. So railway tracks are again helping you in that. And if you choose railway over public transport and rest of the transport, then you are saving your environment, students. Yes. So for long journeys, please, rather than taking your own car, rather than taking your own bike or bus, rather travel with trains. And there is a lot of electrification also. Now Indian Railway is trying to electrify almost 47,000 kilometers of track. So whatever emissions we were doing, that emissions will also not be done, because 47,000 kilometers of tracks will be electrified. Zero emission, my dear students. Zero emission, because again it is running on electricity, then there is zero emissions. Okay. Next topic, food for tiger. We have already discussed this topic, so we will not go in depth of that. There is the census says that the growth of tigers have reduced in the states like Telangana, in Chhattisgarh, in Jharkhand. In Jharkhand, Telangana, Chhattisgarh. So this is an area of concern. And why this is happening? Because if we see the prey base, okay, prey base is your cheetal, sambar, deers, buffaloes, wild buffaloes. So this is the area in which the tigers are living, and this is the area in which preys are also living. But there are certain tribal communities which are residing around the conservative areas, wildlife sanctuary, national parks, conservative areas, and tiger reserves. They are also preying on these same preys like cheetal and sambar and buffaloes, wild buffalo. So this is the area of concern, because when tribal and people will also having the food of what animals are having, because animals cannot have your dal chawal, animals cannot have your tuber, millets. Okay, animals, your tiger especially does not have that diversification of food in their plate, but we can do that. Just now I've taken the example of your Nishi and Apatani tribe in Arunachal Pradesh, how they are diversifying. So rest of the tribal communities also need to learn from that taking the food of animals, especially tigers and lions, can again start the problem of human-animal conflict. And here the baseline, the number of prey has been declining rapidly, and this is a cause of concern for conservation of tigers in India. Now the census of 1931. Why we are talking about the census of 1931? This is your GS paper 2 topic, my dear students. Indian society, yes. Silent features of Indian society, role of caste in society, population and associated issues. So in GS paper 2, the census. See, we know that the government, we have read in our article, we have done article on that, and we came to know that India is actually gripping, and they are summing together to have the new caste census, holistic new caste census government is planning to come up with. But the last and the best one which we had during the British rule, yes, the census of 1931. The census of 1931 was holistic. It was taking about a lot of caste distribution, population figures, the religions which we have. And at that time we talk about, we were having religions predominant. We were having Hindus somewhere of 23 crores, Muslims 7.7, Buddhism 1.27 crores. So Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist were something like the majority of it. Then we have tribal and Christian communities. Okay, but it was 1931 census. Okay, the new census is something which we need now, but this is the census. You can go through the census. It won't be that important for you because the data are redundant. We are waiting for the new census, but still you will get an idea how during the civil disobedient movement and the British administrative priorities influenced the census of that time. Okay, now it's time for degrowth. What do you mean by degrowth? Again, environment ecology chapter. We are celebrating 5th June as the World's Environment Day. But what are we actually doing with the environment? Are we really serious about conservation of our environment? Are we really doing it? No. The answer is no. Because the author says that merely celebrating June 5 as your World's Environment Day is not suffice. It's not suffice and it's not going to help you. Because, see, Earth has its carrying capacity. Okay, Earth has its carrying capacity. If you grow the population, human population too much, okay, already India has huge population, everybody knows that, but if we are growing the population too much, the land cannot support it, Earth cannot support it, because when we are increasing the number of people, number of person on this earth, their requirements are also huge. They need a place to stay, they need food which have to be grown. Okay, they need shelter, again production will be done. So all these things are needed when an individual is born on this earth, and the earth has a limited carrying capacity, students. Let me give you an example, that suppose there is a grassland, okay, and you have the tigers and the humans have killed a lot of species, particular species in the grassland. Again the ecosystem will be disturbed and the carrying capacity will be reduced, because the species which were helping the grassland to thrive is again destroyed by humans or animals. Okay, so this article is very bluntly saying that GDP, see, India is the 4th largest now according to nominal GDP and purchasing power parity. Yes, we are the 4th largest economy, surpassing Japan, but GDP should not be taken into account when it comes to growth. Okay, the author says that move beyond GDP and caters to the need of the environment. Okay, we have not done sufficient enough for the environment to flourish. So go away from the GDP and talk about Earth's carrying capacity. How much the Earth can take, how much the Earth is ready to take. Okay, that is the author saying. So now our last topic, it will be your from Telangana Today, and this talks about a very famous forgotten personality from the tribal group, okay, and his name is Pasula Sitaramulu. Okay, Pasula Sitaramulu, a tribal freedom fighter from Telangana who resisted the Rajakas and feudal lords. His life story reflects broader tribal resistance and marginalization and the struggle for justice and land rights. Okay, so this person, the freedom fighter was again, Pasula Sitaramulu was again from a tribal community, and that tribal community was Naikpod tribal community. And in 1940s, during 1940s, and during 1940s we had this Naikpod community, and this Naikpod community person was Pasula Sitaramulu. He was so much brave that he started taking note of what these feudal lords and what these Rajakas are doing. They are exploiting the people, they are exploiting the general public. So he was fighting against them, and you need to read about them, because Again, you can quote such leaders in your history answers. See, we say that history has become very redundant. We don't have any current affairs. But these are the topics you need to talk about in history. Okay. And when it comes to Telangana Group 1 examination and Telangana Group 2 examination, my dear students, state pieces, then such kind of topics, such kind of leaders, personalities, forgotten leaders becomes very important, because again questions can be picked from. And before ending it, I would like to tell you that please join our Telegram channel. I will be giving you the link below in the description of this video, and please do check out, because you will be getting the notes of every day. You will be getting the notes of every day, PDF notes of everyday daily news analysis, so that you can see it and then you can start your preparation for static after making notes. That's all for now. Stay tuned with us, students. For any doubts, please contact us. We have our numbers given below.